3 years ago, DreamWorks Animation released an adaptation of Aaron Blabey's book series, The Bad Guys. Directed by Pierre Perifel, it was a funny and inventive take on the crime movie with an appealing animation style and a great set of characters. Now, Mr. Wolf and his fellow criminals turned good are back in a sequel, appropriately titled The Bad Guys 2. With a lot of the same creative team involved in this, does it manage to provide the same amount of fun as its predecessor? I thought this sequel was able to successfully take the characters to new places and provide a fun, zippy adventure. Mr. Wolf's arc of dealing with rejection as he tries to prove his worth is one the movie explores with the needed depth, and even if someone does not have a criminal past like he does, I think there's a relatability to what he and the other bad guys are going through as they try to enter this next step in their life. The dynamic between this group remains intact, and you really get the sense of how long they've been friends and how their distinct personalities bounce off each other. One of the highlights of the sequel comes from their interactions with the now police commissioner. With them now being good guys, it adds another element to their back and forths, with a scene at the police station providing some of the funniest dialogue exchanges in the movie. The trio of criminals who force the bad guys to help them with a heist also prove highly memorable and cunning. The movie shows how they often think ahead and prove a worthy match for the protagonists. There are actual obstacles they have to face, which makes the story that much more exciting, and Perifel ups the scope of a lot of the set pieces too. The heist scenes are all directed with the cleverness and creativity one hopes for, and further up the ante. Part of the enjoyment of heist movies is seeing how the plan comes together and how the characters collaborate to pull them off in unexpected ways. The movie already starts off with a bang with a flashback sequence set in Cairo, Egypt, and another high point comes from a scene at a wedding and how this new criminal trio and these former bad guys work together to pull it off. However, there is growth with these characters, and that allows for some further dimension to the bad guys as they get back into the game. There's a particular moment later on where you really hope they succeed in overcoming a difficult task. I also have to praise the action sequences, which are so inventive and provide a nice variety. The fight choreography especially stood out to me, as these multiple characters battle each other in pursuit of one thing or another. Whoever did the animation on Diane, the Fox Governor and the bad guy's closest ally, did an amazing job on her fighting moves. Speaking of the animation, this sequel retains the appealing look of the first movie. I've always compared it to European comic books in my mind, with the way the characters are designed and move, and the way the animators play around with their physicality. There are so many delightful visuals that add to the enjoyment of the movie, like a scene where a giant crowd chases after the bad guys. Now that the first film set the template, it seems like Pierre Perifel was allowed to go even crazier with the sequel, and the artists and animators followed suit in bringing his vision to life. While both The Wild Robot and The Bad Guys 2 were produced by DreamWorks Animation and employ an animation style with an almost hand-drawn aesthetic, they look very different from one another and have their own specific goals they hope to achieve with the visuals. I especially like how distinct each character is, with every species looking different, and the humans also having their own look separate from the animals. I think this is a natural evolution of computer animation and shows how far it's come since the early days. The first features, like Toy Story and Ants, were telling stories that depended on the limitations of the time, with the filmmakers attempting to learn from them to aid the next film. Then computer animated features got to a point where photorealism was one of the primary goals for a lot of them, and seeing what textures they were capable of. Now we're at a point where technology allows for such a wide range of visuals, and we're seeing filmmakers seek to put a distinct visual stamp on each movie they make. Regarding the humor in The Bad Guys 2, that also remains on point with plenty of funny moments. The movie even manages to make a running joke about Mr. Piranha's flatulence problems work, and it leads to some very funny scenes with Mr. Snake. The Bad Guys 2 does what a sequel should do, which is to evolve the characters and show how they deal with their current new predicaments. These are such fun characters too, who I really like spending time with. There's a clear love for the heist genre from everyone involved, and while I can certainly point to influences like the Ocean's 11 movies, the Bad Guys series is also able to have its own identity that stands out. If a third movie's announced, I'll definitely look forward to seeing what hijinks Mr. Wolf and his crew get up to next.